Okay, hello everyone, and thank you for joining us today. I am Greg Yotis, the Senior Sales Director here for Life Annuity and LTC. I am also joined today by Mark Bolger, our Agent Care Specialist. Today we're actually going to be going over IUL quoting and then as well as some insight into the IUL as far as the different indexes you have to choose and then some of the comparison between IUL versus term and even whole life. So before we jump into that and turn it over to Mark, go through our website here for any of those who are new to Pinnacle or haven't joined us. This is our pfsinsurance.com website. Please jump on there. Lots of helpful information on there. For those of you who are with us, you're probably familiar with it. But again, always good to have a refresher. So once you're on there and you have your own login and username password, you have full access to everything on the website. A few things to touch on here in our About section. If you ever need to contact anyone on our team, we have all of our sales team and support team listed here. So easy to reach out and get answers for any of the questions you have. Again, Mark's up here and his contact information, extension, email address. And I'm down here at the bottom, extension, email address. So please use that. Contact us with any questions or concerns you have. We have our news section, which constantly is updated with new news for all the carriers. Try to keep that up to date as possible. In our agent services, we offer, different agent resources, certifications you can get. We have discounted CE that we offer for being with Pinnacle, discounted E&O insurance as well. If you're concerned about security, we do have a way that you can send secure emails to us. So that's all in there. Here's the webinars, all of our recordings. If there's ever a webinar you want to tune into and you miss it, you can go to our webinar section here and easily listen to the recording of the webinar. Our quoting section, you'll see all of the various quoting software tools for annuities, final expense. We also have our form section. So if you're looking to get forms for any of those products, also has the iGo app if the product's available for electronic applications, long-term care, Medicare, term and GUL. We're going to go into that a little bit today, where we quote the term and IUL products, along with some other software that we have to run those. Some underwriting information. Across the top here, we're not going to worry about much else except contracting is important. So if you click on the contracting and you want to get working with us, we have a full paperless application process. So you can start the application here right online, complete everything digitally without actually having to use the paper application. And then a list of all the various carriers that we offer as well. You can scroll down and see all of those listed for all our various products. So again, take a look in there if you have any questions. A lot of great information, a lot of things in there. I forgot to mention, specifically our leads and marketing. So we have various lead programs to help you either with electronic leads or mail leads. So lots of different options there to meet your budget and what you're looking to do. A lot of different lead programs as well. So please take a look, ask away if you have any questions. So with that, I'm going to actually turn it over to Mark, who's going to take us through our quoting of the IUL and all the specifics surrounding what makes IUL so special. Mark?
Okay, excellent. Thank you so much, Greg. Appreciate that. Everyone, my name is Mark Bolger. I'm the Agent Care Specialist here for Pinnacle Financial in the Life, Annuity, Long-Term Care, and Final Expense Department. As Greg mentioned, side by side with him, as well as our new business manager, Billy Vandergrift. So we have tons of expertise here. You can always reach out to us if you guys have any questions or if you want, need any help with case design, all that good stuff. Like Greg mentioned, we are always here for you guys for that. So to get into it here, Indexed Universal Life. So let me just give you a little bit of background. Indexed Universal Life Insurance, or IULs as they call it, is a form of permanent life insurance, and it offers, death benefit protection, obviously if death occurs. It also, in most of these plans that we offer, includes some no cost or little cost living benefit riders as well. So like, if a client, were to become sick, they need some sort of long-term care, they can access a portion of that death benefit or cash value that's built up in the IUL. So like other forms of permanent life insurance, your premium payments may earn interest and grow the cash value of the policy, but what differentiates the IUL from other permanent life insurance is the way that the interest is credited to the policy. So in addition to offering, a traditional declared interest rate like, 4%, 3.5%, the IULs also offer the ability to earn interest that is linked to the performance of a selected stock market index over a specific period of time. So that's, where the S&P 500 comes in, and, all the different indices that are out there that you can offer to help maximize that cash value. And we'll show you here on our website kind of how you can run some quick quotes. We may have some agents on the call who, have sold IULs in the past. Maybe you're used to running your own illustrations. You understand the concept pretty well. That's totally fine. I always recommend, if you're brand new to this, or if you've only done a few, or even if you need a refresher, just send us the information on your client. We can help build a case for them, and then we can, contact you, the agent, to explain it to you, line by line, so that you understand everything when you're going to present to the client. So we've attached a couple fact finders and some information on the IULs that you guys can download, and certainly just feel free to, really just give us some basic information like the date of birth, the client's gender, their state, maybe how much of a death benefit they're looking for, or how much they're looking to contribute into this. Do they want to pay, $500 a month, $300 a month, whatever it may be. We can come back to you with a couple different options. So for those of you that, you can totally do this through our website, thepfsinsurance.com. Again, you do have to be contracted with at least one carrier with us here at Pinnacle in order to have access to our free suite of tools on our website here. But I'm simply just going right over to the quoting tool, and I'm going to click on the term/GUL. We should actually update that so we can include the IUL in there. But anyway, so it's going to look something like this. I'm just going to click new quote, and let me kind of minimize this a little bit so you guys can, maybe that might be too much there. Okay, here we go. So as you can see, I'm just putting in a little bit of information on my client. And this first one here, let's say we have a 44-year-old male, we'll do. We can select our state. Let's say we'll do New Jersey. And then you come down to the product information. So this defaults to term insurance, and we're not doing anything with term. It also gives you an option for guaranteed universal life. That's another form of universal life that we're not talking about today. So we want to make sure that we go down to this last part in here where you see the indexed UL. And what I want to do is I want to click the very last one where it says indexed UL protection. Okay, and this is going to be the simplest way to kind of just get like how this policy is going to look and how we're going to design it. Okay, so it comes right up to a solve thing, and it gives me two options here. I always just click the first one here, which is $1 cash surrender value at age 121. This means that we're going to keep the premiums as low as possible over a lifetime of payments. You can see I can, do have options for single pay or even 10 pay. And, we can even customize that even further through, some more advanced illustration software that we use. Some of you may be familiar with it. It's called WinFlex. It's just basically just a lot more advanced version of what you're seeing in front of us here. So, sometimes clients might say, hey, I only want to pay for 15 years, or I only want to pay till, I'm 65, and that might be 13 years out. So we can, specify those variables. The illustrated rate. Hey, everyone, you got 4, 5, 6%. I always like to click the max. Let's see what the maximum illustrated rate is. Okay, that way it's going to show us in sequential order from the maximum to the minimum as we go through the carriers. And then lastly here, we got the death benefits. I can select one, or I can select up to three. Let's say maybe we'll do 100,000, and we'll do maybe 250,000. Lastly, I have the health class. I can go ahead and just to kind of keep it safe, I like to do standard. Hey, if the client gets better than standard, then that's a better call than telling them, hey, it's more expensive, as if you've quoted them preferred, and if they actually do get standard. So kind of gives you a little bit of a leeway there. So right away, we'll go ahead and click Get Quotes. Okay, so you see a bunch of companies here. Every company that you see, Lincoln, Protective Life, Mutual of Omaha, John Hancock, we go down the list. These are all carriers that we have available through Pinnacle. You're not able to sell this, if that makes sense. You do have to get contracted with them, and you can certainly reach out to us, like Greg mentioned, on the contracting tab, or give us a call, shoot us an email. If you're running any of these quotes and you see, hey, you know what, I really like Lincoln and Protective's rates, I'm not set up with them, just reach out to us and we can get that information to you. So a couple different things on here. We'll stick with the Lincoln product here first. Let me zoom in a little bit more. So for this 44-year-old male, for a $100,000 IUL, we're getting this premium of about $856. You'll see right below it's the target premium is listed as about a little bit over $1,000. And what that means is, you always want to kind of make sure that your clients are right around that target premium, because that's going to ensure that the policy is going to have healthy cash value accumulation over the life of the policy. If you're well below that target premium, then it's very possible that the policy it could lapse in 10, 15 years, or it could just kind of eat up the cash value that it starts to accumulate in the first 10, 15 years. Okay, so it kind of just gives you a snapshot there. We can see the interest rate, and this is showing, I guess, the current interest rate as far as how they have illustrated it on the actual illustration that I'll show you guys in a second here. You can see what the cash value looks like after 30 years. This client, he's 44 years old. In 30 years, he'll be 74, so he'll have $34,455 of cash value built up in the policy after 30 years. 20 years, you'll see $17,431. And again, just kind of gives you a quick little snapshot there. You can compare those to any of these other ones, Protective, Mutual, John Hancock. You can go down and kind of, see which one looks to be the best one. Now, if you see over to the right-hand side, we have the Actions tab. So this is really cool. So right away, it allows you to start a drop ticket, which is an abbreviated EAP. You're just basically providing just some limited information on the client, and then what happens is the carrier will reach out to the client to complete the rest of the, the health questionnaires and, replacement information and things like that. Next, you have Start an EAP. That is a full electronic application. So it might have, like, let's say 10 different tabs to go through. I always recommend doing the drop ticket unless you are, your client's there in your office and you're going through everything line by line. But it's totally up to you. This Get Forms, this allows me to actually, download the paper application forms, things like that. Again, a lot of times, it's more popular for everybody to do these electronically. Just kind of saves everybody that headache of having to print hundreds of pages sometimes. And then lastly here we have Run Illustration. So this is going to be kind of like the meat and potatoes of everything. This is going to show you year after year. And let me go ahead and just kind of switch this. I'll switch this to monthly. Let's just put in Pinnacle's address here. 1 second. Okay.
And just to chime in real quick, while Mark's putting that information in, I just want to remind everyone, if you do have any questions, please put it in the question box. We'll go ahead and answer any questions we get. And as Mark said, there are about 5 handouts in the handout section that you can download, just useful information when using the IUL.
Right, exactly. And as I was just coming through there, it was You know what it does is it actually is going to email you over the illustration. Okay, so real quick, I'm instead of just waiting for that illustration to be emailed to me, I'm going to run this real quick, so just bear with me 1 second here. Just going to put in that same information that we did for that previous client. Let's see, it was 44. Okay, and this is all stuff that we can do, kind of behind the scenes for you guys to help, to help, ensure that we get proper illustration and the proper funding and everything for the client's policy here. Just give me 1 second here. So we did premium was I think it was 250,000. Okay. Okay, just running a quick one here. Just give it 1 second. Of course, I get this. All right, let me just switch that to level. Okay. So this is essentially going to be the illustration that I just ran right here. Again, what it does is it takes a couple minutes to generate, and it's going to email it to you. So while this is calculating, okay. So that same client, the 44-year-old, we did for $250,000 of the IUL. And let me bring this down in here. We've got our summary values. Okay, and again, I just ran something very simple here. So this client, he's got a $250,000 death benefit, and we're looking at the right-hand column here, which is going to be our interest, our assumptions for the interest, going forward. We don't know what the interest rates are going to look like 2 years from now, 10 years from now, but we can kind of assume what they're going to look like based on historical performances. That's one of the handouts that we added on there. Certainly download that. It's definitely important to kind of bring around, kind of show your clients. You can go back, I think, as far as 2004 is what it's showing. But anyway, so we have 3 columns here, the guaranteed in the left-hand column. That's just assuming that, all accounts are going to remain at 0%. Never going to happen, but they legally just have to show that in there. The middle column is going to show the current interest rate charges, which I believe are around 3.7 something. And that's just showing, hey, if those interest rates stayed at 3.77% for the life of the policy, these are those values that you're going to get. Again, not going to happen. We want to go off of the far right column under the assumed interest. And they're assuming this interest to be about 5.69%. They're a little conservative with that. You'll see some other carriers that might assume it around 6.5%, 6.3%. I always like to rather have it be more conservative than showing too high of an interest rate, because this is more realistic as far as what values your clients can expect here. So not to drone on too much with this here, but let me just show you here. So the far right column, we see the death benefit, $250,000, right? And all the way on the left-hand side, we have the client's age. So starts at age 44. After the first year, he's 45. This is showing the first 20 years. And we have the cash value. The far right column, we have the cash value build up year after year. So you can see by age 64, this client has about $32,534 of cash value. Again, it could be a little bit more, a little bit less, depending on the actual performance, but we can estimate it to be roughly around there. Still has that death benefit of $250,000. Again, if I keep going on to the next pages, you'll see that cash value accumulation just keeps going up and up and up and up. Compound interest there. Death benefit still $250,000. And this is going to go all the way out till age 125, I want to say. Yep, actually 126 they go to, if they actually make it that long. But as you can see, look how much this interest is compounding here for the cash value. By the time this guy's 85 years old, he's got almost $145,000 of cash value, plus the death benefit. Another feature with these IULs is, like I mentioned earlier, Let's say if the client, maybe he gets terminal illness, or he gets a critical or chronic illness, he requires some care, maybe it's home health care, long-term care, whatever it may be. They can use some of this. They can use the cash value, they can use a portion of the death benefit, or we can even build in a specific long-term care rider that's going to pay out X amount of dollars in the event that they get sick. If they don't use it, no problem. If they do need it, it's there for them. So it's 360 degrees of full coverage, universal life insurance here. Again, I could go for hours talking about all the different ins and outs of these IULs here. Just wanted to kind of give you guys an idea of what these look like and why they're so important and so popular. One of the other things I want to mention as well is, people kind of get scared when they see that this is tied to the performance of the stock market. Well, what's great about these is these are fixed indexed products, meaning they are never, like, if the market goes down, you're not going to lose any money. You'll just get credited a zero for that year. But if the market does good and goes up, then you reap the rewards of that. So you can never lose. Zero is your hero. This is something that, you can use as like to help supplement retirement income, the living benefits. You could get it for younger people and kind of build some cash value so that by the time they go to college, you could have that planned out. Obviously, you could save for retirement, legacy building. I mean, there's so many things that you can do with this. And that money, again, is available to you. Depending on which year, if you have this for 20 years, that $32,534, that's available for you. You can take out a policy loan tax-free. You can even take out tax-free distributions. A lot of times we'll have clients that maybe they're in their 30s or 40s and they want to pay, maybe $500 a month till age 65. And then by the time they turn age 65, they're done paying premiums and they're taking distributions from the cash value that has accumulated by the time they're age 65. So those can come out as policy loans, tax-free, and just another great way to supplement your income. So again, just definitely download some of those the handouts that we put on there. A lot of great information on there. We have the Understanding IUL brochure. This is great for you, the agents, to learn about it, but also even to share with your clients. It's actually a consumer brochure, so kind of speaks a little bit more in layman's terms about how the IUL works. We have a flyer about the cash value, how you can access the cash value, what is the cash value, the differences between withdrawals, which are taxable, versus policy loans, which are not taxable. We have the performance history of the various indices, go back about 20 years. Another flyer here, which is great. You can do, this is actually a great selling point. If you're offering IUL to somebody, hey, they can actually get a lot more bang for their buck if they also add in some term insurance. And just to briefly talk about that real quick, as you can see here, somebody that's 36 years old, if they get an IUL, they're paying $750 a month. For an extra $53 a month, they can get an extra $1 million of coverage for an extra 20 years. So bundling these, the permanent and the term is very advantageous and cost effective, as you can see there. And then also, some different information as far as index selections. A lot of times, questions I'll get is, what's the best index to put the credits towards, and that can vary. Everybody has their own opinions and stuff, but the S&P 500 been around for the longest. Real cash flow, real companies, can't go wrong with the S&P 500. The NASDAQ, some of these other ones that have been around for a while that actually do have historical records and performances that we can analyze are always the safer ones to go with versus, you'll see some of these new, indices that come out, maybe, from different investment firms or Morgan and Stanley or whoever it may be. But the thing is with those is they might be attractive right away, but they don't have the track record. They might have only been created the last 2 or 3 years, so we don't know if this is going to perform well like some of these other ones that have proven to in the past. So all of that information is going to be on those handout flyers. We also have some life insurance fact finders. So again, if you just have a client that is that this would be a great option to present to them, we just need a little bit of information. Get us their date of birth, whether they're male or female, how much they're looking for, or how much they're looking to contribute, and any other information such as like health issues. You can email this back to us. We'll get back to you in the same day. We'll give you maybe 2 to 3 different options, as well as our recommendations based on what you send us. So again, I want to kind of keep this a little bit short and just kind of wanted to give you guys a quick overview of that. Greg, I'm going to pass it back to you unless you had anything that you wanted me to touch base on again, or.
Yeah, we had a couple questions come in. So, I think this question refers to the example that you were running. But
okay.
The question was, does it mean the premiums are only paid for 26 years?
So, on this specific one, no. So this is a lifetime premium that I did on this. I know that you see that it after 26 years, but remember, this is the guaranteed column, assuming that all accounts are going to remain at zero for the life of the policy, right? So we're not paying attention to the left-hand column or even the middle column. We always want to go off this far right one, which you'll see goes all the way out till age 120. Yeah, the premiums stop at age 120. So I can customize that. I can have them pay for 26 years. It would be a lot more expensive than 22, 32 annually, but if they can afford it, we can certainly do that. We just always like to show at least a lifetime payment, so we could show what the minimum amount is that they would have to pay, like per month or annually.
Yeah, totally keeps the premium affordable and without having it. But yeah, I would just add that there is a lot of flexibility on the premium payment when we design the illustration as far as how far you want to go out and pay it. There's always even an option. You could, at the end, if a client wants to stop paying because they don't want to pay anymore, you can always convert it into a paid up policy, so they'll get a lower death benefit, but they won't have to pay any premiums anymore. So, but still hang on to some of the coverage. So there's lots of options as far as structuring how they want to pay.
Yeah, and also with that too, so I just ran this kind of quick, but normally if I ran this at the target premium, you'll see that these values in the guaranteed and in the middle column are going to go pretty much all the way to age 125, just like the far right column. Again, I just kind of ran this real quick because the other thing was taking too long to load up. And just one more thing to mention as well, everybody that's registered on the call, we'll send you, we actually have like an IUL 101 type of webinar that we've done in the past that goes through the basics of and mechanics of how the IUL works. For those of you who just want to know more of how does this type of insurance work, and how you can better understand it to sell it better. Greg, I'm going to shoot it back to you here.
Okay. Yeah, I would just say that kind of completes what we wanted to look. I'll just leave everyone with this.
Yeah,
we are very big fans of the IUL product. It does a lot of different things. Besides just having cash value, gives you an extra potential for cash accumulation. It can give you a stream of income later on in life. You can take loans. It's cheaper than whole life, but more expensive than term. So just keep those in mind. But if you have anyone who, wants life insurance, wants permanent insurance, and wants cash accumulation, the IUL is the option for them. So I just leave you with that. Again, I'll thank everyone for joining us today. Thank you, Mark, for presenting and showing us all that great information. With that, everyone have a great day.